You're listening to One of a Kind Milwaukee, a podcast, and I'm your host, Angela. On today's episode, we're going to take a closer look at Yelp. What is Yelp? What are Yelp Elites? Well, let's find out. Today we're going to talk about Yelp, and with me I have Jessica Johnson from Yelp Wisconsin. So to start off, Jessica, tell us a bit about yourself and your role at Yelp.
Yes, thanks for having me on. I'm so honored to be here. I'm the Yelp Community Director here in Milwaukee. So, this will be my 6th year this summer, I think, at the company, which is amazing. I've had a blast, genuinely, all these years. My job is really to connect the community to our great local businesses. So, that looks like hosting events, partnering for collaborations or content creation, promoting existing happenings around the city, just really supporting initiatives like in any way that I can to businesses. There's no exact blueprint, which is cool. So all the businesses I work with are like, what are we going to do to help with exposure and kind of bring the community in and share more about our lovely Milwaukee places.
Very nice. So every day is different.
Literally every single day is different.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah. So for those who may not be familiar with Yelp, how can you briefly describe the overall goal of Yelp? I mean, you kind of did a little bit in that, but what are the features and things like that?
Yeah. So at its core, Yelp's mission is really to connect people with great local businesses. So all over the world. And as many people know, it's a review platform. So people go there to read reviews, write reviews on that, kind of 1 to 5 star scale that everyone knows about, upload photos, all those things. But beyond that, it's a discovery tool, right? So it provides really detailed information about all kinds of businesses beyond just restaurants. A lot of people think just food and drink. So it kind of supports, booking reservations, ordering things online, connecting with professionals in the home and local service industry. So you need a plumber, we got you there. Request a quote. So there's a lot of features that are super helpful to connect people beyond just the reviews. And then the other goal is really to foster community. So that's where I come in, on a hyper local level. And, there's one of me in every major city across North America, really. So again, bringing people together in a real life, localized level is huge for us too.
I really like to use the lists that are on Yelp, when I'm looking for a restaurant or a spa or something like that. Again, I feel people do think food right away.
Spas,
I definitely have found, I think my nail place on there and things, and for out of town, especially when you're in an unfamiliar area too. I find it super helpful because those reviews are so handy. I want to go over a little bit more about Yelp, whether you're using it on the everyday or as an elite. So this is something that I feel like I talk about a lot with friends and family and things. What really makes a good review that not only helps others that are looking to find a place, but also the business, as their key criteria,
to writing something.
So
I'll say to start kind of just using Yelp as an everyday thing, whether you're an elite or just a user. There's definitely the huge handful of people who do not write reviews and just use Yelp as, again, that discovery platform, which is amazing. So many people use it for that, and that's really great. Kind of what I touched on, a place of discovery, or if you need a service, finding your favorite new coffee shop. Or for example, I have a new contractor coming to my house to help me retile my whole bathroom. Found them on Yelp.
Nice.
So for an everyday person or everyday user, it's great beyond just being an elite. But in terms of the review side of Yelp, we really talk about this a lot, about how people can write reviews and share things in more of an impactful way than just being great spot, recommend, we'll come back. It's really impactful to business owners and users when there's details about things of your whole experience. So yes, we love all the foodie details, all the food restaurants. We love to hear about the dishes and see the food. Who doesn't love that stuff? But beyond that, things to share or ambiance, that's a huge one. I don't know about you, but I'm if I go in a place with fluorescent lights, I don't know, I just like to know that vibe before I'm going in somewhere. Tell us about the service. Did you have a really fun, chatty bartender? Was the guy who fixed your car engine like really helpful in explaining why and like friendly? And, you know, what was that experience like? That goes a long way for people, especially people that are like uncomfortable going into a new space or working with someone new. So, yeah, those details are really helpful.
Yeah, I love giving a shout out to someone,
yes,
you know, that did a great job, whether it was like a waiter, waitress, or bartender, or like my nail tech, like, or if I got a different one because they were out for the day, like being like, oh, don't worry, like they're gonna do a good job too.
Yes, and you know, they read those people that work, you know, being someone who worked in the service industry for years before I ever had Yelp myself, like the business owners read those, the people that work there read the content, you know, so it's always nice to feel like, you know, a good shout out, like, wow, I did a great job serving those people. They really made a difference in their night, you know, shouting them out. Or, you know, another example, if you love a daycare that you take your kids to, tell us about like, what the classroom's like. Do you like the teachers? You know, people go here for recommendations. They want to know, again, a little beyond like 5 stars, highly recommend, like, what do you recommend? So beefing up your reviews a little bit and just, remembering that they're impactful beyond just like the star rating that you choose, you know?
Yeah. Speaking of the stars, so I feel like I have my own, how do I use the stars? But is there like a standard to how one should use the stars?
There's not. I think it's every person to each their own, right? Like, and how you're kind of judging, like, oh, I'm only going somewhere for 5 stars or whatever that may be, or I'm only writing reviews of X stars. So I wouldn't say Yelp has a standard necessarily in rating, but I will say a business definitely does not need to be 5 stars to be, you know, incredible, right? Down. And we always try to tell that to business owners too. We're like, you can't please everyone. Let's be honest. We know there's the negative Nancy's or whatever it might be. 4 stars is incredible. 3 stars is so great too for a lot of, you know, different reasons. And it's funny because people think that online review spaces are where everyone goes to complain. Like, that's where consumers are just going there to like kind of bitch or something. But it's wild because overwhelmingly on Yelp, we have way more 5-star reviews than 1, 2, and 3-star reviews combined on the entire site. So people think, people just go on there to complain. I'm like, no, really, it's like a site of like positivity, and like it's really wonderful in that way. So no hard fast rule for star rating.
So no tip on that. It's hard because I'm like, I feel like I go into a place, I guess my mindset is like, okay, it's gonna be a 5-star, like, to start off with, right? Like,
unless tick backwards.
Yes, that's usually how I look at it.
I would say that's what I do too.
You know.
Yeah, and I do write a lot of 5-star reviews, and I think some people are like, well, you know, it wasn't perfect or whatever. I'm like, but unless there's something wrong, like, it was a really great experience. Like, I think the business deserves to know that that's what it was, you know?
Yeah.
So there's definitely chronic, like, 4-star review writers. Like, I won't write a 5-star review unless it's like,
I feel like I might be on like the teeter of that. Because I do sometimes, I feel like, look at like cost to what I'm getting.
Yeah, totally.
And I factor that in. Sometimes I feel like to a star, especially if something is a bit more than I would normally like spend on something. Yeah. And then obviously like the service and the atmosphere.
Atmosphere
and cleanliness. Like, I add that in its own category. That there. That the cleanliness is a star.
Yeah. But again, that goes into writing the details. Yes. I mean, like, you know, how to write
like
a good review.
Like why this.
You know, especially if you go in and you rate something 3 stars and you barely give an explanation. Again, people are reading these. Like, especially owners are like, okay, why wasn't it a better experience?
I feel like
didn't tell me.
I give the most explanation, I feel like, when I give a 3.
Yes.
Because
the more negative,
it
like,
really is like, this is why, you know, it's been taken a notch down. Like, you would have gotten a 4 had not this happened. You know, and maybe on another day it would be different, or you know.
Yeah, that's, again, it's like that constructive piece and like just being really helpful in feedback. And then that helps the users when they're, you know, because if they'll read a review and it was like, oh, that was very like a singular experience based, you know, so maybe we'll give it a try anyways.
Yeah, because like I feel like more lately, again, a personal like thing, but my grandmother's in a wheelchair now, and so I'm dealing with a lot of handicap based situations. And it's a whole nother world.
For sure.
You know, and it's new for her, and it's not like she's like, she doesn't really get herself around, so like we're having to, you know, move her around and maneuver her and stuff. Yeah. And so then she's needing also the assistance with it too on top of it.
Yeah.
So then like we're needing more space in restrooms, and we're needing more,
Yep.
more than like, and some aren't even, it's handicap, but it's like, okay,
not.
It's
like you're just saying that to get
like
by.
it just fits,
Yeah, and again,
things,
that goes so far with a business owner to hear that feedback and like know that. And it's really great. Over the years, Yelp's really gone a long way to have. We have attributes, so business owners on their Yelp page, they can say we're like have good accessibility, and they can include that as an attribute. So you can search Yelp in that way, like accessible restaurants, or of course it goes into like Black owned and women owned, and we love those kinds of search categories to help people like fine tune what they're looking for, and like that's a huge one. I'd want to know if I was a business owner and you were like, bro, we need a wheelchair space, like help us out. So
if like the tables work out that way, because that seems to be the thing. Because I think I had used Yelp to search for, and where'd we go? We went to Double B's. But I like called beforehand. I was like, it says that you're, handicap accessible. And they're like, oh yes, absolutely. Like every single one of our, tables is like fully accessible and everything. And their bathroom was too, like it was like the longer style, like stall, which I feel like is the best to have for the handicap versus just like a big square one, because the door doesn't always shut on those square ones.
Like people don't think until you're into the space, and
So it's helpful for sure. So okay, so
this is why you're an elite.
So speaking of Elite, let's dive in. So definitely this has not been hidden at all, but the fact that I am a Yelp Elite, and it's been shared in like Instagram and stuff like that. Usually it's like hashtag Yelp Elite, and I'll tag, the Yelp Wisconsin from those events and experiences over the past 2 years, and now I just renewed for the 3rd year. Yay. So what criteria does one need in order to be a Yelp Elite member?
Well, first of all, congrats on 3 years.
Thank you.
Really exciting. Well, first of all, for those who don't know, being Yelp Elite or the Yelp Elite squad, those are our most like active, influential users on the site, right? So think blue check mark on Instagram. It's like Yelp's version, right? They're verified users. It's not just anyone off the street writing angry things. We're really looking for the cheerleaders for local businesses. So those are the verified people on the site. And it really just means you're a reliable user, reviewer, recommendation person, sharing good information. You know how it goes. All the community of like eating, drinking, adventuring Yelpers. All the good vibes, I like to say. And anyone can nominate themselves, which is awesome too. But to answer your question, there's really no exact criteria or blueprint or amount of reviews or anything in that scale to become an elite. It's really more about being like a positive, relatively positive, but consistent user on the site. So you're actively posting and sharing those kinds of things. If you write 1 or 2 Yelp reviews in a year, like probably not elite material. You know what I mean? So I always say consistency is the biggest thing that's going to have a user become elite. And then kind of those things we were talking about, being, sharing longer, a little more detailed reviews, like making an impact with what you're writing beyond the 5 stars, we'll come back, So just being a little more in depth and like using the site regularly, interacting with other users, those kind of things are what's going to lead you into being able to become elite and stay elite.
Yes. And then what are the benefits ultimately of being a Yelp Elite?
Yes. Besides hanging out with me, it's awesome. It gets you a lot of access to great local events and experiences, as you know. Lots of unique giveaways and promotions, access to business owners or first time into businesses before they open, advanced screenings of things and things of that nature. And elite status also makes your reviews on the site the most populated. So when people go onto a Yelp page and they're scrolling through reviews, the most seen reviews, the way the site populates them through, are going to be Yelp Elite, trusted, reliable reviews that are the most seen, which a lot of people that don't come to events or experiences, not required, love that aspect, right? Like they love that they are verified and they are reliable and their reviews and photos are like front and center on the app. So, different reasons why people love it, but you get all those, different things when you're an elite.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So how does Yelp encourage and maintain engagement then with the members? Can you share a little more on some specific events and activities? And then this year, I noticed there was like an email blast that kind of went through explaining how there's going to be different like levels of engagement, kind of based on if you're not necessarily like the social butterfly, there's still going to be like a program for you kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. So in terms of engagement, we really try to remind users of a lot of what we talked about, like how impactful your reviews really are to business owners and to readers. There's more than 180 million people that go to Yelp every single month. Like that is so many people that are reading your content, right? Especially as the more populated top shown reviews. It really goes a long way, and it makes an impact on a business, especially elites, when you're contributing to their star rating and things like that. So always trying to hit that home for elites is a big one. And then, of course, we hope that coming to events and experiences and, having access to giveaways and things like that, makes you want to continue to engage and contribute and participate in all the fun stuff that we do every single month. So lots of things each month to come. It's always like a little surprise at the beginning of each month, which I think is really fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then some are like in person, where where everyone's like together, versus others are like stop in style, I guess you could say.
Yeah. So sorry to answer your second part. Some examples are kind of things that we do. Again, a few times a month, various local businesses beyond just restaurants, as we always. I'm like, I feel like that should be the other like underlining tagline. But yeah, everything from pottery classes to large hotel parties, pasta making, going to unique fitness studios, sit down full dinners at a restaurant, 5-course. Like it can go, 25 intimate person event to couple hundred people in a space. So I think the variety is really fun in that way, kind of something for everyone. And then if you are not totally a social butterfly, we'd love to have other promotions that you can go to on your own terms, on your own time. As you know, we call them Elite Weeks. You can stop in to redeem a great complimentary experience at a business on your own time throughout a week. So no big crowds or anything like that. You can kind of participate in that way, along with giveaways and things like that, which is, again, like accessing tickets to things that you can go do on your own time. But yeah, I would like to think we're a very social group. So if you are a little nervy when you come, like everyone's really friendly. I always say, like, come find me, like, or your local CM if you're in a different market. We love to get to know people. Like, it's wild how many people I've gotten to know over the years. So something for everyone, but I always, step out of your comfort zone if you can. I think you'll find more people in places than you realize,
Yeah. And then I feel like you end up like seeing them at other things. Like I'll see people at like Girls Who Walk Milwaukee. And then I was at a hair salon, like they had their 5th anniversary, and I saw someone there and I was like, oh my gosh, I know you from Yelp. Like, and it was crazy. So
especially there's been a lot of like newcomers to the city. And I don't really know anyone. Or like I was a Yelp Elite for a year in Tampa, but I just moved here and I thought this is how we can meet more people. And I mean, there's so many stories, be it in Milwaukee or of elites across the nation, obviously, that I'm kind of clued into hearing about, that, met through Yelp, literally met on Yelp and then got married. And I'm not kidding. Crazy fun stories. It's really community based. And I think that's what makes it special.
All right. Is there anything else that you'd like to share about Yelp or Yelp Elite?
Just to join. We'd love to have you. Like I said, if you're looking to find new spots or new people or find community, it's a really great way to do so. It's totally free. There's no requirements. You don't have to go to events. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do, but it's just always this open network of places to go. So, yelp.com/elite to find out more. Apply there. You can find my profile on that page too, and shoot me a message. I'm always down to chat and hang out and have you. So
well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. So much fun.
Again, I want to thank Jessica for joining me and taking the time out of her day for that interview. Also, in case you're like, where are they during that interview? Well, we were actually at Wannable Cafe. It was my first time there, and it's a really neat space. It works really great for those that need a space for like remote work style. They have pods, and we actually rented one of the pods. They're $10 for the hour, like an hour. And we were in one of the larger pods, and it worked out really nice because it has like soundproofing and that kind of thing. And yeah, so that's what we did. I have to say, during the interview, I personally learned more about Yelp than I even thought I knew. So that was kind of cool. And man, I really wish that she could just tell me how to do those darn stars. But I guess my own little method that I've kind of come up with in my own mind works good enough. So curious to see how others do their stars. Maybe you have some thoughts. So, leave those in the comments of this episode. The second half of this episode, I want to, for the first episode of each month, kind of dive into what's coming up for the month. So I'm just going to like breeze through this super quickly because all the details are going to be in the show notes, and more information is going to be better for you to find online too, to get like the meat of it, if you will, for all these events. So looking into February itself, there's a month-long event called February, like pho, like the food, that you get that's delicious and yummy and warm and just makes you feel so good. So the VIA Community Development Corporation runs this program, and they're on their 12th year of, so it is the 12th annual February celebration. And this year there are 3 participating restaurants, and you can find those details at the viacdc.org. And it's, apologies, I'm probably botching this. We all know that I botch all the names. Vientiane Noodle Shop, Thai Barbecue Restaurant, and PK Palace. And I actually just this weekend went to PK Palace with my grandma and introduced her to pho. Now, mind you, she has had it before when I have made it, and I do believe I was taught how to make it pretty well by a friend a couple years ago, and it's not quite like, obviously, it getting made in the restaurant, but mine is pretty close. I don't typically make it with the proper noodles and stuff like that, but she really, really enjoyed it. It was really good. We got the beef, and it was delicious. So, I'll have details of that on Instagram, and I plan on checking out the other 2 places as well this month. So make sure to check that out. Again, this happens every year, and they just have different specials for the month for dine-in only. So check that out to learn more. And then I wanted to showcase Fig Stitch. Fig Stitch is running 2 events this month for embroidery classes. One is on February 12th, and it's a really cute like floral piece. I know it's being done because I'm actually attending that class myself. And then there's another event on February 19th. So again, I'll have those links in the notes so you can learn more about those classes, how to register. But embroidery, we'll see if I can do it. I am not very. We'll see. Yep, we will see. But I'm hopeful because it'd be so cute on my my one wall that I have. And then looking for something to do for Valentine's Day. I know that there's a lot of things out there, but I thought that this one was really cute. The Lost Whale is doing a Galentine's on the 13th. They're asking that you RSVP, but they're gonna have cocktails that sound super cute, that they're gonna have like Polaroids with, and mini cannoli flights, cheese curds, special cheese curds. They're gonna be having like, Chapel Rowan, like Taylor Swift vibes, all that kind of stuff. Charlie XCX, we love that. Charlie fan here, Chapel Rowan fan, and then later, a little further down, Valentine's Day obviously takes place. I don't have anything for Valentine's Day specifically, so I know there's a lot of stuff happening, but I think the Galentine's one on the 13th is super cute. And then on the 15th, I Love Hot Bitches Apparel. They're hosting a girls only Okay, girls only night out. We love a theme. The theme is red, white, or black. So love that there's a dress code. Tickets are $15 in advance or 20 at the door. There's going to be like permanent bracelets being done. 3 different DJ sets, all female DJ sets, mind you, as well. Love that. The event's from 7 to 10, so it's not a super late night either. So if like your girls are normally like, I don't do late nights. Oh, sorry, it's not gonna be a late night, so no excuses. Um, and then what else? Oh, there's gonna be like hair tinsel, like a bunch of photo ops. She'll be selling her apparel there. So I'm really hoping to check that one out personally. And then later in the month, on the 21st, Wisconsin Kickers is hosting one of their like monthly get-togethers. So tickets are $13, and this time it'll be in Mequon. And what's really neat about their event, like, so the first event I attended with them was one of their monthly ones. And what's nice is it starts off with lessons, so you get to learn how to do like 2 dances. So if you've never done line dance before, like you still can enjoy the event because you get a little taste of like how to do it. And then if you're someone like my cousin, not me, you can catch on to a good amount of the line dances that are taking place during the open dance time. But during open dance, they're going to play those 2 songs that you learned how to do early in the night. And then can do those. And it's also just really fun to watch everyone line dance. I mean, it's great. It's also way more of a workout than you think it is. I'm not gonna lie, I went in curls and like a sweater. Hair was up, sweater was off. Thank goodness I had a tank top on. Like, it's a workout, okay? So check that out on the 21st. Then on February 23rd, there is Bacon Fest. Now, and I mentioned Bacon Fest actually in a previous episode because I was hoping to attend. That is official. That is officially happening. So, and yes, my dad is going to go with me. So, Bacon Fest, February 23rd. It's going to be at the Potawatomi Casino Hotel. And what can you expect? Well, bacon. Okay. All attendees get the 2025 like custom like bib. You're gonna get a Potawatomi play voucher, and then VIPs also get a beer redemption to German Hall, 2025 Summerfest ticket, and then you also get that early entry as a VIP. Now, the first session VIP tickets have already sold out, but there are still second session tickets available. And currently, both first and second session general admission tickets are available at this time. But who knows, when you look at the website, purchase your tickets, where that'll be by the time you're listening to this. So make sure to check out the website, baconfestmke.com. That's where you can learn more, get your tickets, all that sort of thing, see the specifics on those times for those 2 sessions. But I'm very excited. There's some very interesting looking items there. Obviously, we've got bacon, like plain bacon, but then there's like Fat Elvis sandwiches. There's bacon chocolate vodka. There's gonna be bacon meatballs, pork belly sliders. So I'm super stoked to try everything on the list, even if there's some things that, normally wouldn't be like a sweet savory combo that I maybe would go for. I'm going to try it because when at Bacon Fest, you try the bacon things, right? So yeah, make sure to check it out because you don't want to miss out. Again, this is the 13th annual year, so they know what they're doing with all things bacon. I know my dad is also very, very excited to go and have bacon. So we're going to come with hungry bellies for all the samples of things. So again, that's also what's really nice. I love that they're doing tiered options too, because going to sampling events that don't have tiered options, and just like allowing all the attendees to come in at once is like crazy. So it's really nice that they are staggering the attendees coming in, because that goes to show that they know what they're doing with that as well. So make sure to check that out. And then one final event for the month is going to be a pop-up class at Pole Factory MKE. They're doing a hoop class, and which sounds so fun, on February 25th. You can go to their website to obtain your tickets. You do not have to have any prereq like classes with them at all. So you can literally just do this as a pop-in. You can be a complete beginner to hoop, or you can have already done hoop classes before. It's a one-day class, pop-up style. It's something that I've always wanted to try. I've seen like hoop dance performers and stuff, and I think it's pretty cool. It's on my list. I'm actually going to be doing an intro to pole class with Pole Factory MKE later this month, so excited to try that. But they have a bunch of options for classes, and they do a lot of pop-up classes, like tons. So if there's something that you've been wanting to give a go, like look at their website, because they might have it. Yeah, and yeah, there's a lot. So, but the hoop class is definitely one that's been on my list of things to try, and that's pretty neat. So this segment here for the preview of the month is something that I want to do every first episode of the month, if you will, because there's so many things obviously taking place all the time. I mean, not in just Milwaukee alone, but even just, up to 30 miles out is what I'm trying to expand to. Because if you notice, these aren't all like right in Milwaukee necessarily. Some are a little bit out of. Maybe this time they're a little more Milwaukee based, but every now and then they won't be. But that being said, really the ones that I'm going to focus on in my little preview here are going to be ones that I'm personally hoping to attend, will be attending. Maybe I can't attend, but would be attending if I could, kind of things that just are more on that kind of like want to showcase it. Maybe have already done it before and know it's a really neat event. It helps to showcase like the uniqueness and the one of a kind features that Milwaukee and surrounding area has. So like that's gonna kind of be the component of it, and or it might be a company or business or place that I'll be working with. Like for example, with Pole Factory MKE, like I'm working with them earlier this month on a fitness segment that you'll hear about in another episode. But they got this really cool opportunity for this hoop dance class, and I don't want listeners to miss out on it. So that'll kind of be what this segment is for the second half of the first episode of each month. But this is the only episode where I'll explain it like a crazy circle like this, because even my brain is like, what? So for those that are on video, you can kind of see a little corner of the calendar. And this is kind of the concept of building not only content, but episodes and personal and work and family and all the things. So that also goes into effect of kind of this segment and like trying to figure out like, okay, what do I want to feature? What do I want to share? Like, what do I think are going to be some fun and different things? Like a mix of, like hands-on activities, and maybe like some workshops and all that kind of stuff. So food and beverage and, like every month kind of like do something like a little bit different. So some months might have more, some months might have less. Obviously, the episodes aren't necessarily always like the first day of the month. So some might have a little overlap or may have missed some things that already took place. But again, I'm always going to say it. Really, like Instagram, Facebook are going to be your behind the scenes, like VIP to the podcast, because so much more can be shared on there, not only in terms of like episode, even just for like the podcast episode, but like for in general, like I can't share everything in an episode because I want to keep these to a consistent time for everyone listening. Um, and there's just like so many things taking place. So on a day to day, and things to share on a whim, like oh, I'm going to Madison today. Well, let me share this awesome drink that I got on the way there. Like stuff like that. So those little things are going to be shared in like stories and maybe a post if there's enough to go with it. But usually a lot's going to be like story based if it's like on a whim and in the moment and that kind of stuff. So again, those are going to really be like your biggest like behind the scenes, and also more coming in terms of articles for the website as well once these segments kind of become more structured and like built together, like because I want to make sure I have enough enough stuff to, to get a start of an article and not just like have like one piece of a segment. So but very excited for those. I'm very excited for the businesses that have already gotten back and reached out and things like that. So very appreciative of all that and everything. So because I couldn't do it without the businesses and everyone helping and everything. So very appreciative of all of that. So, well, with that, until next time,